So I'm in the back, and I'm watching that for the first time. How's everyone doing? So I get the hangover crew. Good morning. I remember those days. So I'm super pumped to be here. I'm super pumped for you guys to, experience the speakers later on today. And John Cheplack, who's my coach, I get to announce him. But I get to spend probably about the next 15 to 20 minutes with you guys telling you a little bit about my story, which some of you might know a little bit about my story because I do a lot of storytelling. I share a lot about my life. And, it's interesting. Justin was just talking about us being the number one team in the world for EXP, and my battle with the other number one teams in the world for EXP. But really my goal today is for you guys to leave here today making a decision to become number one in your world. Okay? My goal today is to help you realize that the decision starts with you. So I'm going to take you back a little bit for those of you who might not know me. I'm just a mother of 5 beautiful children. I am a team leader of a homegrown team in Orlando, Florida that started over a decade ago. And a lot of people just see on the surface level what we may have accomplished over the last 3 to 4 years. But the truth is that 3 to 4 years ago, I made a decision to start showing up in my life. So you're going to come here today and you think, okay, Veronica, give me the magic pill. How did you guys sell 2,100 homes last year? It started with a decision to really start becoming a great operator and a great business owner. But first, a great leader for my own life. What I'm most proud of last year is not that we became the number one team at EXP. What I'm most proud about last year is that I became sober. Okay. What I'm most proud about is that I made a decision to work on my mental health. Is that I made a decision to stop coming from a place of egoic business leaders, and started to make a decision to come from a place of a heart-centered leader. A leader who would realize that people choose people. Those of you who are starting a team or running a team, I want you to leave here today and do an audit, not just of your P&L, not just of your lead spend, but audit who you are as a leader and audit who you want to be in business with. Because when you start making those type of decisions, and you're going to hear from John and you're going to hear from amazing speakers later on today, we are in the people business. And I will tell you, funny story about last year. Again, with everything from becoming sober to saving my marriage to moving to an island and operating my business from Zoom, hiring amazing talent. I also know what it feels like to have a mass exodus on my team. Rolling out a new team agreement and 13 of your top producers saying I'm out. But I also know that I am no longer hostage to an agent walking out of my team because I made a decision to run a business that has standards, and I no longer manage people, I manage policy. And when you start to run a business like what you're going to hear in a little bit, it may seem painful. You have that anxiety and you might say, but I can't do that because my top producer will leave me. And it's refreshing when they can make that decision to leave you and they choose to stay. It's also refreshing to know that if they do leave you and you have a bench that people who want to be in your world and choose to be in business with you because of the culture that you create and the stories that you tell, and it's not about the leads and it's not about the commission split, because John is going to also tell you, isn't there a cheaper place where they can go and get a better split? But they choose to stay. So when 13 walked out, I called John and I tell him, hey, we just had a mass exodus, but we're going to be okay. And we went from a roster of 52 agents to 29 agents to back up to 73 in less than 4 weeks. In less than 4 months. And we sold 2,100 homes with almost a brand new roster. Because we started making a decision as to who we want to be in business with. And we stuck to it. So I want you to think about today, who are you as a leader? What kind of business do you want to run? Can you really build it? and know that you have a proven, repeatable process to love on your people, coach your people, recruit people, invite them into your culture. But what story are you telling? What do they know about you? Here's the thing. We probably don't have the sexiest splits on my team, but I constantly have people wanting to join our organization because we are no longer a leads team. We are a community where we help people fast track their business, get them into proximity of other leaders. We help them grow. We help them understand that real estate is a wonderful business, but if you're surrounded by great people and the right community, you can do so much more than just sell another home. You can become a leader in your community. You can really start coming from a place that is deeper than just your next home or the stats in the MLS. So agents are always flocking to our team because they see how we treat our people, the stories that we tell, and they say, I connect with you. Hey, I love the fact that you guys talk about the things that went on in your business. So my question is, what is the story that people know about you? Is it the same story that everybody says, that we have a team, that we care about our people? Or is it the story that we tell, oh, like, when you come and work for me, you're going to get leads? Is that the story you want people to know about you? Or do you want the story to be that you change people's lives? That you help people understand that saving their relationships, getting healthy. I lost 70 pounds last year because I made a decision to start working with the inside of me. And when I started making those decisions, I remember making those decisions. It wasn't to become the number one team. It was to become number one within me. And by default, everything else fell into place. And that's why people come and want to join us. And that's why people trust us. Because we are telling more than just my story. We're telling the story of other leaders on our team and people who join us because they're looking for more than just a place to hang their license. And some of you guys need to have a conference call or a board meeting or a team meeting with the team that matters the most, which is yourself. Because even if you're an individual agent that perhaps is aspiring one day to have a team, or you're just a little stuck and don't know what type of leader you're going to be, the first board meeting you have to have is with yourself. What kind of leader do you want to be? And here is the question that I asked myself in January 2021. And I want you to ask yourself this question. Would I follow me? I asked myself that question. I asked that question after I had an embarrassing moment in my life. Yeah, one of those late night bar moments? That was me. I had one at a real estate conference that I was absolutely embarrassed the next day, full of shame. And I said to myself, would I follow me? And I'll give credit to him because I'm excited to announce him before he comes on the stage. I remember when John said to me, V, I'm never going to judge you, but what is the one thing in your life that can change, that can radically change everything in your life? Because you know how to produce, you know how to get deals, you're scrappy. But what is the one thing that can change in your life that you decide today? And perhaps it's not alcohol for you. Perhaps it's not trauma or chaos. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's that excuse that you tell yourself that you're not worthy, that you're not good enough, that, why the phone is heavy, why you shouldn't do video, why these stories that you tell yourself with that little drunk monkey in your head. Some of you, it's not about alcohol. It's about the drunk stories that you tell yourself in your head. And John asked me, what is the one thing that you need to change? He didn't tell me. He asked me. And I did an inner audit. And I said, there's one thing I know that I need to change because I'm operating as a fraud. And I decided that day that I would never pick up another drink until I got, and if I ever did, great, it would be for different reasons. It was no longer to numb myself. It was no longer to try to say it was a bad day at work and I need this, because I knew I'm more than that. And I also knew I wanted to be the type of leader that walked the walk, that was more than just another deal. It was more than just egos standing up, bragging about how many transactions. Yeah, at that time we were probably rocking 700, 800 transactions. I didn't think there was any other peak we could go to. I didn't think there was another level, another ceiling we could shatter. But the moment I decided to change my life internally is the moment the game changed. So I ask you guys today, what is your one thing that you know you can change that's going to make you number one in your world? Number one in your world for your children who are watching, for the people who trust. Let me tell you how sexy this change has been in my life. People that at one point I hurt or hurt me or who left me are now my partners. Have coffee with me, call me, say thank you. Thank you for being the person willing to share that we all have the ability to change from within. And that is what I call winning. That's what I call winning, when you can literally face the truth and I realize, maybe they weren't that bad. Where did I play a role in some of these relationships and some of these business decisions that were at one point their fault? You know, some of you guys are the ones who have also said, they did this to me. But when you start having clarity in your life and you're like, what was my role in all of this? Was that the other version of Veronica? And now, being able to sit with people who at one point we probably couldn't stand each other. Now we're celebrating this new era of embracing becoming the best version of ourselves. That you hear about it, right? You read about it. You got books. You guys have probably all read all the books. But you don't leave willing to take action. And all I want is that my little story of 16 and pregnant, divorced by 24, bankrupt by 26, multiple bad decisions, a P&L that was just embarrassing 4 years ago, a public almost divorce that was embarrassing in front of my team, and now a salvaged marriage and salvaged relationships can also be your story. But it's their story too. People are just waiting for you to show up like a leader. And when you start showing up like that, you watch how your business is going to grow. You watch how clients are just going to call you and say, hey, I'm watching what you're doing. And I just want to say, I love what you're doing. Can you pair me with your number one listing agent? Or can you pair me with your agents? And that's the other thing. You're so afraid of letting go of control. Nobody's going to want to work with my team. I have to be the one to go on the listing appointment. 2,100 homes last year, and I didn't go on one listing appointment. But what I did was make a decision to develop leaders. What I did was make a decision to believe that I can run a business, I can operate a business from a place of leadership, from a place of truth, from a place of value, from a place of where we're contributing not only to the community of our buyers and sellers, but the community of our agents who go out there and bust their ass every single day for us. And some of us are just sitting here worried about how much our P&L is saying we're making off of them, and we're not looking at how much we can pour into these people's lives. And it starts with you. It starts with you making a decision today. You're going to hear from some amazing speakers, and some of you guys are going to do the same thing. You're going to leave here today, and you're going to go and do nothing. But not this room, right? Because we're the Sphere Rocket room, right? We're going to take action. We're going to hop on that rocket launch, and we're going to take it to the next level. Because right now, if you guys didn't know, I'm not saying that we're in a market crash, because we're not. But leaders are needed more than ever right now. Agents are having anxiety. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to kind of thrive in a shifting market, in a tight market. But I'm here to tell people, like I've always said, my action is what determines my economy. So the momentum that you leave here with today, you got two choices. Are you going to show up like the leader that people really, really need you to be? And then are you going to take action? And I mean massive action. People say to me, Veronica, you're always on the go. You do. Man, no, I just scale myself and I just choose what I'm going to do. Where am I going to put my energy? I'm going to put my energy into things that are going to move me, my business, and my life forward. And that's what I want you to do today. Make a choice. What are you going to do? Are you going to make decisions that are going to just be egoic, where you're worried about what your competitor's doing? Or you have your blinders on, you're so focused, you're the jockey that's going to win this race. You're the one that knows where you're going, and nobody can stop you. Not Zillow, not your competitors, not the iBuyers, not the cheap commission split person. I don't care who it is. Not your competitor who's offering 100%. Not the person who's buying agents to join them. I don't care who you are up against. The only person you're up against is yourself. It's the decision that you make to wake up and say, how am I going to build the number one version of me? I'm not here to tell you that you're going to sell 2,100 homes. Because I know for some people that might not be valuable. And I'm here to tell you, I know there's people that are going to say, she'll never do that again. Maybe, maybe not, because my shift is focused. But I know how to sell 2,100 homes. And I know it's through recruiting. And I know it's through the people business. And I know how many agents I need to have. And I know how much support I need to give them. And I know what type of infrastructure I need to give them, because I'm in the people recruiting business. And I bring enough people into my world that I know how to duplicate that. And I get to make a choice as to what type of business I want to run. I'm no longer hostage to how the industry tells me I have to run my business. I get to run it the way I want to run my business. And you're right. We probably are not going to sell 2,100 homes next year. But we'll probably sell 1,500, and I'll take that. I'm good with that. Okay? And I know how to do it, and I'm so crystal clear, and so is my team. So here's what I would ask you. Does your team know how to follow your lead? Does your team get inspired to step up every day and lead because of how you're leading? Are they willing to go to bat for you? Are they bought in to your vision? See, I know mine is to connect the heart of the art and science of real estate into the future while I love on my people. And my team knows that. And everything we do is centered around that by the actions that we take. And we're nimble and we're flexible and we don't blame the market and we don't blame someone else. We don't blame the competitor. We only take personal responsibility for what we did or what we didn't do. And I encourage you today to do two things today. Make a choice and go take action. Because that's the story you want people to say. That when they talk about your brand, and your brand is not a sexy logo, your brand is a story people say about you. And what they're going to say about you to the people that they know as to why they should follow you, work with you, trust you. And that's the brand you should be focused on taking action on. Is the story that and the legacy that you're going to play in people's lives. Thank you very much. Love you guys all. I have the honor of introducing now my coach, the man who changed my life, Mr. John Cheplack.